Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mirna and this is my booktube. So for today's video, we're gonna do my first ever wrap up with my TBR. We're gonna make my February wrap up and my March TBR. So this month I managed to read 5 books, 4 physical and 1 on my Kindle. So we're gonna talk quickly about them while I also show you later my March hopefuls. So for February, I actually posted on my Bookstagram a picture of the books I wanted to read this month. And of course, as many of us are, I'm a mood reader. So I actually did better than other times. I read 3 of the 5 books that I wanted to read. So let's talk about those books. So first, I started the month with my Reading Romance for a Week vlog. So I was reading Ricochet. This is the 2nd book in the Addicted to You series. This book, I think I rated this a 4.5 stars. But then while the video progressed, I loved this book, but not as much as the other ones. So I'm gonna rate this a 4 stars. And I actually really enjoyed it. I think the main reason why I really liked it is because I decided to tab it and annotate it. I annotated a lot and highlighted a lot. I connected more with Lily in this book than in the first book. I actually loved how we got to see her struggle and trying to get better in this book. I loved the parts where Lo was talking to her. He always knew what to say. I love how we got to know more about Reich and Rose, how they always were there for Lily and Lo and trying to help them. I really enjoyed that part. It did feel like a filler, not like, I don't think there was actually a plot here, rather than knowing more about the characters and seeing why they were struggling in the first place, and how they are trying to overcome it. But I still enjoyed it. 4 stars, mainly because I connected with the characters. So this was the first book I read this month. Then I continued with my Reading Romance for a Week vlog, and I picked up Archer's Voice, which I ended up rating this a 5 stars. I loved this book so much. I think this is my new favorite book couple. I loved Archer and Bree. They are so perfect for each other. This book, if you haven't read it or seen from it, which I don't think, because this is a very popular BookTok book, it's about Bree and Archer. Bree decides to move to this small town to forget about something in her past. You're gonna know here in the book, of course. And she meets Archer. He cannot speak. He's not deaf, but he cannot speak. You're gonna find out why also in this book. And you basically follow their love story, and some deep topics are discussed in this book. And I really enjoyed it. I did not cry as I thought I would, but I felt a lot of emotions. I really fell in love with the story and with the characters. Both of them are they're beautiful. I love everything about them. So you should definitely check this book out if you haven't. This is Small Town, Friends to Lovers trope. You should definitely check this out. I really loved it. I rated this a 5 stars. Then I finished that vlog and I decided to pick up Daisy Jones and the Six, since the show is coming out literally this week, March 3rd. I rated this a 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I read it, but also heard the audiobook. So I was like literally reading with the audiobook playing, and it was the best experience ever. This book is written in interview style, so you get the point of view of every character. Like, how do I describe that? You literally get the point of view of every character, like one after the other. This book is basically about this girl, Daisy, and this band, The Six, and their rise to fame and all the struggles and everything that comes with fame and A lot of deep topics are discussed here. I really liked it. At the end, it has a little plot twist, which I was not expecting at all. And this is a book where you fall in love with the characters so deeply and you care about them so much. The only reason why I didn't rate this a 5 stars was, I don't even know why. But I really liked it. Probably a 4.75 stars. The audiobook is the best decision ever. You need to read it with the audiobook. You're gonna enjoy it so much more. The audiobook has a different voice actor for every character, and they put on so much passion, and they literally feel like real people when you are hearing them reading this book. So I cannot wait for the show. I'm so excited. And I decided to finish a series that I started last year, which was the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So I picked up As Good as Dead, the last book in the trilogy. In this book, we see people struggling with some PTSD of something that happens in the second book. So I cannot tell you if you haven't read it because I might spoil it, but she's struggling with that PTSD, and then she started getting these messages about some stalker that she has. She takes it to the detective of her town, and he does not believe her, of course, and she decides to investigate. When she's investigating, I'm gonna read it. When she starts to find connections between her stalker and a serial killer, a local serial killer, and she starts to investigate that. And this book is way darker than the other 2 books. This plot line is so much more interesting and entertaining. I actually rate this a 5 stars. I loved everything about it. I loved Pippa, I loved Ravi. They have my heart. I almost cried at the end. But also, a lot of people don't like the ending because it's really like open, but I loved, and I cannot see this book ending in another way. I loved it so much. This book, I actually felt so anxious and scared and thrilled while reading this. I think I've never felt that way about a book before. So yeah, you need to pick up this series and get to this book, because this book is amazing. This book is the thickest in the series. It's YA, but this book deserves all the hype in the world. Literally all the hype from the series. I think this book deserves it the most because this book was really good. If I have to choose like an order of the trilogy, which books I liked better, this would be the first book. The first book will be the second, and the second will be my least favorite. I think this book was really good, so you should definitely pick this up if you haven't. It was a 5 stars. I love Pippa and Robbie. They have my whole heart. I literally liked them in the first 2 books, but here I fell in love with them. I still miss them. So the last book I read was from my Kindle. It was a Kindle Unlimited read. Last year I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and I think I rated it a 4.5 stars. I really liked it. The storyline and the plot twist, I did not see it coming. She really got me. And The Housemaid's Secret released this month, so I picked it up in my Kindle. It was quite short. It had like 311 pages, something like that. So I picked it up and I read it, and I rated it a 3.75 stars. I enjoyed the first one way better. This one, I liked it, but the first 2 parts, I had no idea where the story was going. I was not bored, but I was not enjoying it as much as I thought I would. So yeah, the plot twists were good. The story was good, but not my favorite. So that's why I rated it the way I rated it, but I still recommend it because I love Frida McFadden's writing style and how she gets you, because she always gets you. Now we're gonna talk about my March TBR, March hopefuls. So the first book I picked was A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm actually going to buddy read this with a book bestie, and I'm already on only page 21. I decided to purchase the audiobook because this is a thick one, and sometimes when the book is really thick, even though I love the story, I get distracted or I get unmotivated because I'm still like reading for a lot of time. So when I read Daisy Jones and the Six, I saw that when I heard the book while reading it, it makes the experience so much better, and I actually focus way better. So I will be reading with the audiobook. I don't love the audiobook still because we only have like one voice actor, and when Tamlin or Rhysand or Cassian speak, it's a woman's voice like going deeper, and I don't like that in audiobooks. But yeah, I'm gonna read that, hearing that, but if I don't like it, I'm just gonna ignore the audiobook. But so far, nothing's much is happening, but I know that I'm gonna love this book because I'm obsessed with this series. Then I also wanted to start this month A Little Life. This book was in my February TBR, but I did not pick it up. I don't even know why, because I'm really excited to read this one. I know it's really dark, and a lot of hard topics are like touching this book. I haven't read the trigger warnings. I should read the trigger warnings, but I still want to read it. So after this big boy, I'm gonna pick this other big boy, and I'm gonna probably vlog it because I really want to see what this book is about. So this is one of the books I'm gonna be reading this month. I have no idea what it's about. I know it's about 4 friends, and that's it. Broke, adrift, and boy, as they move to New York in search of fame and fortune. Okay, I'm gonna research this and let you guys know, probably on my TikTok. So I seen a girl talk about this book, and she made me even more excited to read this. So I will be reading this month, no doubt. Then The Inheritance Games, I've seen this everywhere. I know I'm late to the trend. A lot of people have read this and rave about this and love this series, and what I've heard is that it's like this girl inherits from a random old guy a lot of money, and she has to go to his house where like 3 other grandsons of him live, and there's riddles and clues, and that really excites me. I love books with riddles and clues and all about that. So I think the reason I haven't picked this up is because I know I'm gonna love it. So here's this thing, if I know I'm gonna love a book, I don't pick it up because I don't even know why. But I'm gonna read it this month. I have to order the other 2 books in the trilogy, and lastly, I'm gonna read the 2nd book in the Off-Campus series, which is The Mistake. I loved The Deal, which I read last year in December. I really loved it, so I will be picking this up this month, and hopefully I like it as much as I liked The Deal. This one is about John Logan and Grace's story. I have no idea what the tropes are. Of course, it's sports romance, but I have no idea what this is gonna be like. I love going in blindly into my books, so I'm not gonna research anything about this one. And then since last month I only read 1 book from my Kindle, and I pay Kindle Unlimited, I want to read more from my Kindle, so I will be reading a couple of books from my Kindle. Some books that I downloaded were Ghosted, which I know is a second chance, Small Town, Single Mom, and Celebrity Dad, something like that, tropes. I really want to read that, so that's on this month's TBR as well. I want to read In a Jam. I have no idea what's that romance about, but I want to read that one. I've also been seeing a lot of the Chestnut Spring series, because I think Powerless came out last month, so I really want to read that. So I'm gonna begin the series with Flawless. I know Magnolia Parks was last year's like the book. But lately on my bookstagram, a lot of book besties are reading Magnolia Parks or have read Magnolia Parks and are raving about that book. So I wanna read Magnolia Parks. I know it's a toxic gossip girl vibe book. Fun fact about me, I've only saw episode 1 of Gossip Girl, so I have no idea, but I want to read that one. I know that I love it because I have no problem reading about toxic relationships, so I'm gonna read that. And also I wanted to read Things We Never Got Over because the Things We Have from the Light came out and I want to read those. So those are the books that I plan on reading this month. I hope you guys liked my first ever keep saying January. I hope you guys liked my wrap up, and if you've read any of the books that I read last month or I'm going to read this month, let me know in the comments and let's talk about books. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys liked it. Give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, whatever you guys want, and I'll see you in my next video. Love ya.